What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and the first generation Ford Territory was an absolute game changer. Today we'll be reviewing this. Does it still have what it takes to change the game all over again? Let's find out. So from the start, right here up front, you won't be seeing any major changes, especially when you compare it to the entry-level titanium variant. You still have your LED headlamps. Ford's really proud of how these headlamps look and how they perform, especially at night. You got the headlamps right there below, and yeah, it still has this really nice and iconic chainmail looking front grille. It's huge, it's nice, it looks sporty, feels almost American in execution. I wonder why, especially in a Ford. And then you got your Ford badge right here as well. Underneath you would find a front-facing camera that works with the 360-degree camera system of the Ford Territory. Of course, we appreciate having that here on the Titanium X variant. I love the silver-looking trim right below, and on top you've got your radar system for its advanced driver assist system, working overall to make this Ford Territory X a very safe vehicle to drive, especially for you and your family. So moving to the side of the Ford Territory X, you do get bigger wheels here compared to the titanium variant. Instead of 18s, you get 19 inches. You got these really chunky 235/50 R19 tires that really fill in those wheel wells a lot better than the titanium variant that we initially reviewed. But overall, it still has the same look to it. You've got the chrome strip right around the side windows there. You still have the roof rail up top, and then you got some nice silver inserts there as well on the side profile, especially underneath the doors over here. Got LED repeater signals right there on the side mirrors, as well as cameras that again work with the 360-degree camera system, or a round view monitor as Ford calls it. And then I love how the tail lamps actually sneak right through the side right here on the rear. It kind of gives you an almost wagon kind of look, a raised wagon kind of look. Again, very American with the implementation and execution of the Ford Territory. That's weird for a Ford, right? Am I missing something? Moving over to the rear of the Ford Territory Titanium X, you do have these nice blacked out tail lamps right here. As you can see, the tail lamps are opening and closing because it does detect the key fob right here on my person. This key fob, it actually has some sort of smart mechanism that recognizes if you are approaching or leaving the vehicle. It locks and unlocks it accordingly. But anyway, moving on to the rear of the Ford Territory X, you got the EcoBoost badge right there. You get the Titanium X badge right there. So you got the Ford Territory badging right here. Let everyone know that you are driving indeed the Ford Territory. I like the chunky spoiler up top, and you get to see the roof rails from right behind here, plus a bee sting type antenna up top as well. Now, one thing the Territory X has over the regular Territory titanium variant is a power liftgate. You do have a power liftgate here, giving you easy access to all your stuff inside, especially when you're bringing a lot of things with you. And it still has the same spacious cargo area. As you can see, you've got lots of stuff inside. Plus, you got a low loading floor, so if you do have heavy things that you need to lift and put inside a car, you can easily do so without any problems. And if you need even more space, though, you can actually fold those rear seats down in a 60/40 split configuration. Easy peasy. Maybe just appreciate the power tailgate here and give you that distinct Ford warning sound. I love it. Overall, the exterior of the Ford Territory isn't really something that's going to scream at, or nothing really going to cater to a lot of radical design enthusiasts out there. It's just a plain, good old, simple looking crossover SUV. Alright, so inside Ford Territory X, so we do have nice leather material on the seats, soft-touch materials around the dashboard and the door cards here. It's pretty much still the same as the original Ford Territory, except in this one you do have light colored seats, and you have a nice panoramic sunroof to work with, and that is one huge sunroof that just keeps on going and going. Doesn't seem to end, does it? But anyway, it's something that's much appreciated inside the Ford Territory. You got dual screens, dual displays right here. One is for the infotainment system, and the other is for your gauge clusters. Your steering wheel is nicely coated with this leather material here, and you've got complete buttons around it as well. You got your cruise control buttons on the left, as well as your settings for your advanced driver assist systems and your media buttons on the right. One quirk that I have right here is that if you want to control the information display right here in the middle, you'll actually have to press on this page looking kind of button here, and it's going to tell you settings control active. That means you can use this single toggle switch to move up between different views settings on your screen. And if you click on that same button there, it says audio controls active. So the set of buttons right here on the right actually share dual functionalities, which might not be the most ergonomic, might not be the most comfortable out there, but it's there. It's definitely workable. Now, one thing that's interesting with the Ford Territory X is that you have this wood grain panel on the door cards that continues over to the dashboard as well as on the back. I'm really not a fan of the wood grain material, but in this case and in this context, it seems to actually work. You got piano black materials on the center console, and one thing that's interesting here is that the shifter is an actual dial. So if you want to move between park, reverse, neutral, and drive, you have to, twist on that dial to move between different modes. And you do have a complete set of buttons here as well right below it. For park, automatic brake hold, engine start stop to save on fuel. You even have your parking sensors here. You got parking sensors all around, so you can detect whether a vehicle is getting too close for comfort. You even have automatic park assist. It has both wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And you do have different settings here to change, to customize your screen as well. The thing with this though is that you can find your HVAC controls as capacitive buttons with force touch. For Apple Speak, you got force touch right here that actually helps you with tactile feelings, because when you click on these HVAC controls, it gives you some sort of vibration to it. But the complete HVAC or AC controls are here on the screen. You do have cooled seats, which is nice. The driver's seat is power adjustable in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think this is 8-way, including lumbar support, which is nice. Again, when you're going up there in age, it's nice, and it's appreciated if the car has lumbar support, and this does have that. But my favorite part about this part is this. This seems to be some sort of ledge right here on the front dashboard next to the passenger. Having that gives you the ability to put in a lot of stuff in there. Even if your phones, you can put your phone in there, it's not going anywhere. It's the simple things, really. You even have wireless charging right here that's nicely rubberized. All right, so we're right here in the second row seats of the Ford Territory X. Again, Territory X, Ford Territory Titanium X, doesn't matter. This is definitely the top of the line variant because of how airy this panoramic sunroof really is. Plus, even though I'm wearing a cap, even though I've got my 5'10" frame and with a long torso, I still have tons of headroom to work with. You got some nice materials right here in the back, but one thing that I want to note though is that you got lots of space for your knees and your feet right here. You do have a slight, very, very, very slight hump in the middle. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to call it a hump. This is pretty much a flat floor. Pretty much a flat floor to work with. The bench seats are, the seats aren't really curved and contoured. They are soft and comfortable. Plus, you do have a center armrest with cup holders right here. One complaint about the rear though is that you have a solitary USB-A port right there underneath the two AC vents. All right. So that's enough about the interior. This is a winner in my book. I love how ergonomic and spacious everything is. It's not the sportiest, mind you, but it is the most family friendly out there. But let's take this out for a drive and let's just check how driver friendly this is, especially when out on the road. Let's go. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the Ford Territory Titanium X variant. So under the hood, you've got the same 1.5 liter EcoBoost gasoline engine that makes 160 horsepower, around 160 horsepower and 248 newton meters of torque. Numbers that, well, numbers don't really mean anything because it really depends on the engineering, the craftsmanship that a particular OEM or a particular manufacturer puts. I mean, you could put all the numbers that you want next to that engine, but if it really doesn't translate as well, it's really worthless. But thankfully, Ford is able to put in a good transmission underneath. You've got a 7-speed automatic transmission. I think it's definitely a dual clutch transmission, but Ford's calling it an automatic. So yes, you get an automatic transmission under the hood. It puts the power to the front wheels quite efficiently, and you've got independent suspension all around, McPherson struts, multi-link in the back. Standard fare for this at this price point, but you really feel the extended wheelbase that the Ford Territory does have, which means it does absorb a lot of the road imperfections quite well, I might add. The brakes on the Ford Territory though might take some getting used to. If you're used to other cars out there where the brakes actually just bite right away, not in this one. Here, you actually have to modulate. Again, this is all about a smoother drive. Now, another factor that the Ford Territory does have for me, and it's a plus point, is its NVH levels. I mean, even though you've got 19-inch alloy wheels outside, I'd really expect this to be quite a crashy ride because of those 19-inch wheels. I've driven a lot of cars with 19-inch alloy wheels, and let's just say that it's not going to be the most luxurious experiences you're going to ever have. But in the Ford Territory, it seems almost luxury light in that regard. What do you mean by luxury light? I mean, no car at this particular price point would probably rival those of more expensive luxury cars. But in this one, it feels nice. It does a great job with isolating the outside world from you when it comes to vibrations, when it comes to noise, and it doesn't feel harsh inside at all. I mean, right now I'm stuck in traffic and it's stop and go. It doesn't feel like I've got a 7-speed dual clutch under the hood right here because it's just so darn smooth. Traditionally, Fords, in my opinion, for the past few years, they never really had the best scores, in my opinion, when it comes to visibility. But in this case here, this is nice. I mean, you don't even need those giant side mirrors here. I mean, Ford's been a pioneer of sorts when it comes to gigantic side mirrors. But in this case, the giant side mirrors do help, but everything inside here seems to be really nice. Everything's very visible, and I appreciate that. Again, I appreciate that from Ford. When it comes to fuel economy, well, it's quite surprising, to be honest. Usually with big hulking SUVs, well, bigger compact crossover SUVs like this one, I'd be expecting not so stellar fuel economy, and that's to be expected, really. That's on par with my expectations. But I've been driving this in heavy city traffic and some highway speeds as well, and I get around 8 to 9 kilometers per liter mixed. So that's around 7 to 8 kilometers per liter in the city, which isn't really bad. This is not bad at all. And on the highway, wow, 15 to 16 kilometers per liter. This is one frugal compact crossover SUV. And if you're thinking about, well, if you're hesitant with going with the electric route and with problems, I mean, if you're concerned about range anxiety, and then you find hybrid crossovers to be a bit too pricey, just like me. I mean, yeah, crossovers and the hybrids these days, are getting more affordable, but they're still a bit more pricey for me. And if you do get a hybrid, it's either they either lack in size or there are not enough features for me. But with this is definitely not bad. Safety features include a complete suite of standard safety features such as airbags, ABS with electronic brake force distribution, but you've also got some advanced driver assist systems such as adaptive cruise control with stop and go function, blind spot information system with rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning and lane keep assist, autonomous emergency braking, hill launch assist and hill descent control, as well as a tire pressure monitoring system. And hey, you even get active park assist, where you can actually park your Ford Territory Titanium X wherever easily and automatically. Pricing for the Ford Territory, as I mentioned, the Ford Territory Titanium, the one we reviewed earlier, that one will cost you 1,335,000 pesos. This one though, with all the bells and whistles, with the advanced driver assist systems, with the power tailgate, the big sunroof, the bigger wheels, and the nicer interior, I gotta say. Objectively, this is definitely a well, subjectively that is. It's a nicer interior, I gotta say. This one here is around 1,599,000 pesos. Now that price point gives you a couple of options. I mean, if you're in the market for a Ford Territory in this top of the line trim, it gives you a lot more options, but definitely not going to be as refined as the Ford Territory. For example, you got the Chang'an CS55 Plus, you've got the GAC MQ, which probably would be its closest rival in my opinion. And when it comes to refinement, size, and power, fuel economy as well, it's almost like its twin, to be honest. So again, if you're looking for almost the same power, pretty much the same size, then this Ford Territory just might be your cup of tea, especially when if you're in the market for something bigger and bigger than your regular 1.5 turbo subcompact crossovers. So that's my review of the Ford Territory Titanium X variant. It's the top of the line crossover SUV from the country's most American company. And yes, this is probably the most American crossover SUV out there, despite not being made in America. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you won't miss any of our videos. This is Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I will see you guys next time.